Call a Board of Education regular working meeting, 2/18/25. It's 1800, 6 p.m. to Wallace Central Office Building. I'd like to welcome everyone. All board members are present. Need approval of the agenda, please.
Make a motion.
John so moves.
A second.
Miss Amanda?
Ashley.
Ashley? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
5-0, motion carries. Public comments, Connie?
Good evening, everyone. I'm from the Fair Board. We started our sponsorship drive for this year. I'd like to thank you guys for the $500 that you gave us last year. We do still have your banner on the barn. There's another little program that I wanted to talk about that we're adding this year. We've decided to sponsor some families through the Family Resource Center to bring them to the fair, pay their expenses, pay their admission, give them a food voucher for all of the family members. Probably gonna do around 5 to 8 families.
Probably 10 this year.
I'm gonna get those names from the Family Resource Center. So that's something that we've added this year to kind of bring in some families that may not be able to come to the fair and be part of the fair. They may not have the funds, it may not be something that they do. So we're trying to build awareness. I'm not sure if the fair board members were gonna sponsor the families or if we're gonna do it out of our funds, and our sponsorships and our donations. So I'd like to thank you for your donation last year. It was the silver package that you guys got last year, the quarter page ad and the banner on the barn. Our prices did not change. The board decided to keep them the same. So, that's about it. That's about all I have. We would really appreciate you guys' support again this year. We did just report last night to the fiscal court. Last year we spent on the fair around $95,000. In other events outside of the fair, we spent around $28,000. That does not include all of our extra, like, the things we buy for the concessions, the bracelets that we buy for everybody, all of our extra little things. We did run around $207,000, $208,000 through our checking account, and we took in around $212,000 last year. So we do run pretty close to the edge. We don't like to keep a large amount from year to year. We like to have events and have the community involved and do things to involve the kids and the adults as well.
We try to spend every penny that we can.
Our
I mean, the donations are given to us for the community, and we want to give it all back to the community. So,
And I'm gonna recuse myself from this because I don't want no one to think there's a conflict of interest or anything, so this will be up to you all.
Our
I am.
our fair week is full. We did, Kentucky did just speak to the barrel race lady last night or the night before. So we have events every night. We do have our kids events on Monday night again, the grease pig contest, the chicken chase, and the stick pony barrel race for all ages. And I do have trophies for the winners, but every child that's involved will get a gift. So that's part of going to the fair, going to anything, is if you're a child, is bringing home something free. So, any questions from anybody?
Yeah, how many free passes did you say come with that package?
None. Everybody here but you. I'm sorry.
But if you want,
Because you didn't vote.
if you would want a vendor space for some reason
Yeah.
to promote anything about the school or for the school, you can have that as well.
Any type of reading programs, anything of that sort, please feel free to give us a contact.
So that includes a booth 20 by 60 or, no,
No,
I'm just kidding.
like a 10 by 4.
Well, you all definitely upped the game in Gallatin County when it comes to fair. So
Yeah, I've
I
done
would
it.
move that we do the same donation as we did last year.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor. Do I hear a second?
A second.
That was Becky, Amanda. Any further discussion? Hearing no further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
4, 1 present.
Not being rude, but we have a fair board meeting at 7.
Oh, you're good.
That's why I got you out of here.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Do we have anyone else for public comments?
Thank you all.
Thanks.
Hearing no further public comments, moving on to board member comments. Miss Becky.
Always ask me first. A couple of things. So, you have, with all the paperwork in front of you, the latest groundswell profile for Gallatin County from the Pritchard Committee. It just gives us some good data points for the community. I shared some with our folks in the audience, and I'll leave some in case you all are interested as well. You can go to the Pritchard Committee site and look up any county, so it's very useful to compare us with our peers. No real surprises. You know, we're struggling getting our kids in preschool, with kindergarten readiness, with third grade math. We're below state standard in too many of these buckets. But an anomaly is our graduation rate is above the state average. So we might want to think about that. But anyway, it's some good data. They kind of break it down in different forms, different graphs. And again, I invite everybody to look at the website for other district information. But clearly, you know, and again, this is not a surprise that, you know, we need kindergarten readiness, third grade math, reading, and eighth grade. Yeah. Anyway, I share that. This weekend is KSBA conference, so I assume some or all of us will be there at some point.
Yes, I'll do it.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
No, okay, that's fine. The regional meeting, so recall last year we had our regional meeting at Receptions in Erlanger. So the date this year is pretty much the same. It's the day after Labor Day, so it's Tuesday, I believe it's September 2nd. So if you would mark your calendar, that would be the date of our first board meeting of the month if we had one, so I assume we can skip that.
She says September 2nd, Miss Becky.
September 2nd, the day after Labor Day, Tuesday after Labor Day. So I will work with Miss Jody, and I hope this year we can get some local music, some of our band, chorus, maybe Landon, maybe you want to sing a solo this year, I don't know.
Oh gosh, you don't want that.
Or you could just draw the tickets.
Okay.
But
As long as you know Amanda's.
I'm experienced in that. I can rig that. I mean, do that as well as you.
Appreciate that.
so we definitely want local talent, and we've got a little more time this year to plan, so we can talk about that. But please just mark the date at this point. And I think that's all I have.
Miss Amanda.
So I just wanted to bring up, I know we had talked about it at the beginning of the year, and we said we would revisit the first of the year about checking on school supplies. There is, I know, an issue of them running low on different things. I did just speak with Ms. Tackett, and she said she had plenty of pencils to give out, but regardless, I'm gonna make sure that we have enough to finish the school year for the kids in need. So if the board is willing to put money back in the account to finish out the year on the school supplies, would be greatly appreciated.
Miss Amanda, do you all know if like notepads, paper, and things?
I'm good on pencils right now. I can't speak for Dylan. I have an abundance of some items, and other items we've went through a lot. We've gone through a lot of notebooks here lately.
Could you get a list together for the board and
Okay, yeah.
Mr. Arvin?
Because I don't want it
say
to come out of their funds, I
no.
want the food and everything to be
But
spent,
what I was
and then
getting
we
ready
could take it out
to
of
say
our,
is we could run it through their funds.
just
and she
put the
could-
money in there.
Yes, and she could just distribute it to the
I'm
schools
fine
as
with
needed.
that.
Would you be okay with that?
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Great.
Anything else? He's giving you a look.
Oh, no, I'm good. Thank you.
Miss Ashley?
Nothing.
Mr. Jones? The only thing I have, last board meeting, somebody brought to my attention, we was talking over each other. I went back and watched the video, I think one time we did, I watched it twice. And a lot of times down here when we got the thing on, that's why I went ahead and kicked it off. we have a hard time hearing the people on that end of the room and things. So what I'm gonna do is start moving forward. When we get to a motion, if, I'll call for discussion for or against on the motion, and then we'll make the motion and take it, so that way we can hear you all and you all can hear us. So we don't run into that issue unless somebody has I figure it'll help us move quicker too. That's all I had for right now. Family Resource Service Center, under staff school reports.
Thank you all so much for your support as always. The money that you all have given us to share with the lower and the upper at the Family Resource Center level, the 2,500, I spoke to Amanda and Megan, and they said the items most needed were headphones, mice for the Chromebooks, and dry erase markers. And those 3 items are a little bit expensive for our families, so that's what we spent the money on. So every student at the upper and the lower has access to brand new dry erase markers in their classroom. And then the upper got the mice and the headphones as well, and the lower got headphones. So we appreciate that greatly. It's much needed. I give out headphones probably on a daily. So, and then also, the paperwork that I've given you all, the other sides of it, just our year-to-date snapshots of the items that we have given so far this year. We've noticed a different trend. It doesn't seem like food is so much of a struggle anymore, but we do have a lot of good food options in our community. Clothing has been our big thing this year. We've given a tremendous amount of clothing away, and it's only, this goes to January. So we gave 646 clothing items this year. And that could either be donated items that I'd received or items that I'd purchased for families. So that's just a trend that I'm noticing. But do y'all have any questions for birth through 5th grade?
On your, what you have is, you just got general supplies that just like, what do you call it, as the headphones and stuff, just general supplies?
School supplies. I
Okay.
can break that down even further if I need to, because I have it all written out.
Nope, we trust you.
But yeah, school supplies, headphones, mice, and dry erase markers.
Do the headphones stay at school or do they go home?
They generally stay at school,
Okay.
but we can't afford to buy the really nice ones, like 1 per child per classroom that they would keep in the classroom and
Right.
wipe off. So sometimes they go home.
Okay.
A lot of times, Becky, when I've got pictures, they're laying on the floors up in the classrooms. I'm glad we brought that up tonight. Remind me to get to that here in a little bit.
Okay.
All right, just kind of reiterate what Carrie said, we do appreciate the support from you all. So far, for us, we had planners that we bought for kids at the high school that were in special education classes as part of their learning plan that they needed planners. We did pencils, calculators, and earbuds at the high school. We've gotten some better backpacks than what we were able to buy through our money. We found that a lot of the kids were coming in several times needing a new backpack because the backpacks we were getting in bulk just weren't lasting, they're paper thin. So we were able to get some better backpacks, and then at the middle school we were able to provide dry erase markers and earbuds for them as well. They said they used earbuds for high ready testing, and then the state testing at the end of the year they'll use them as well. And then I also just did a kind of mid-year impact report. Reiterate what she said there, food has been down for us this year as well. At the food pantry, kind of tried several different things, and we're just not getting many people biting this year for whatever reason. But clothing items has went up greatly. We're sitting right around 591 for the year. And again, ours is just through December, so I don't have January on there either.
Do you mean by that food is not coming in to distribute, or people are not coming in and
People are
asking?
not coming to get it. We do 2 giveaways every month, and right now I'd say we're struggling to get 10 families each time. In the years past, we were in the 20s.
What's a good problem to have?
Right, I was gonna say, I mean, it's frustrating on our end because we have the food to give out, but, you know, it's a good thing the families aren't
Church is kind of
needing the food or depending on it like they were in the past, so. That's kind of where we're at right now, focusing on prom, getting everything ready for that. Shannon has all the dresses put out. We have 17 signed up for Cinderella's Closet in Northern Kentucky. We're going to Dave & Buster's again this year. Champions is sponsoring that for us. So right now, that's kind of what our main focus is prom and prom.
Yeah, on the dry erasers, is that for like the staff, because that's what we use?
No, so they
Or
have
the
like little
students?
individual boards that the kids
Oh,
use.
nice.
So the kids get those, and ours have, like, the ones we got had erasers on like the cap, so they're able to just write and then erase with the cap
Got it.
on.
And I can reiterate that it's used every day in the classroom at the lower and upper elementaries. Kids have little individual boards that they write on for math reasons and such.
Okay.
Would your guess be, would $2,500 get you to the end of the year?
I would say that'd be more than enough to get us through the end of the year.
Agreed.
I think we did 5,000 to start. the year.
2,500.
2,500.
Oh, good.
So if we just re-upped what we did before, in worst case scenario, you've got a little inventory to start next year.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess too on that, is that, do you all solely want that spent for school supplies only, or can that be student needs?
Student needs.
Okay.
So, but I would like to see,
Yes.
because some of the feedback that I'm getting is there are students that are going to teachers for pencils, and they're being told they don't have any. And I mean, that just doesn't set well with us, right? And whether they don't know to direct down to Family Resource or whatever. So if you do school shop, then maybe send an all email to the staff, hey, come replenish your supplies for your classrooms. Because we definitely don't want to hear students are being told because they don't have a pencil.
Which is bizarre to me, because I have pencils galore.
And again, this is coming from, the staff, and maybe they don't realize that, or maybe we've got new ones, or maybe it just, they forget. I don't know. But let's reiterate that and maybe restock the classrooms if we can.
Yep.
Thanks.
It'll work.
Can I
Motion.
interject
Yeah.
something? I've encouraged them to spend the money that you give them this year.
Yeah,
So
that's exactly.
Because I thought that's kind of what you wanted, was to make
Right.
sure it got spent this year.
Yep.
So,
But you're needing a little bit more to get to the end. I would make a motion that we do $2,500 to get them through the rest of school.
I'll second that. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Moving on, enrollment attendance report, Mr. Eddie, or excuse me, student school board, I'm sorry, Eddie. Student school board report.
Yeah, we have a little bit more going on now. Obviously sports, spring's kicking off. Obviously we're not outside yet, but, we'll get there after Kentucky starts knowing what it's doing. Basketball homecoming, happened last weekend. That went well. I was told to thank the Cinderella's Closet, because we went over that. They had a meeting about that the other day, and that was a big success. They were real happy about it. So,
Oh,
Right.
academic team, we got second in districts, won the quick recall, which is really all anybody cares about. But yeah, this weekend will be going down to North Oldham to compete in the regionals. And then the iReady rewards were a big success and a good motivator, which is important. So yeah, lots of good stuff. We got prom coming up March 28th. So
When'd you set that date?
Hmm?
When'd you set?
when did I set that date?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't responsible for that one.
Have you
I
thought
had one
about,
date on my mind, Hargis. and I got that
Graduation.
one.
have you decided yet on graduation?
Yes. Unless you all have any.
Oh, no,
problems.
this is all up to you.
Okay.
Just remember, we can't
the-
tell you if you wanted to do it the Saturday before or something that you could miss the next week. We can't tell you that, so you do
Yeah,
what you want on it.
well, that was actually what I wasn't hoping for. But no, the senior class wants to do it the Saturday after, the 31st, after we get out.
So on the 31st.
Wait a minute, is that
Yeah.
Memorial Weekend?
No, that's the weekend after, I
Okay, is
believe.
that-
I think
wanna do
Memorial
that.
Weekend is the weekend we would have done it all.
Oh, we're worried about your wants now, huh, Amanda?
Memorial, it just does not
Everybody
make
always
sense.
freaks out.
I never
Everybody always
understood
freaks out
that.
about Memorial Weekend.
It never
so.
makes sense.
No, 11 o'clock at on the 31st.
May 31st at 11 a.m.
Of May, to be precise, just,
Anything else, sir?
that's it.
All right, Eddie, it's your turn. I'm glad your name's on there. I'd forget you.
Nothing big on the attendance report. I will point out a mistake. Top left, I forgot to change the date to today. Should be 2/18/25. Everything else is pretty self-explanatory. Enrollment has gone up a little bit the last 2 months. Percentages went down a little bit with sickness over the last month. Other than that, fairly consistent. Questions?
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Moving on to CAO report, Mr. Jury.
Just really quick, I'm gonna hand you a list of what we're testing this year on KSA, and who takes it, how many questions are on each test, and what those questions are like multiple choice, multiple select. It's just for your information. We met today as a district assessment team with all the building assessment coordinators. We talked about challenges this year. There's a little bit of different language that we're going to have to follow this year and give in the tests, so we're to make sure we're making plans for that. They're also adding to some of the tests. We're adding an extra on-demand question this year, so there'll be 2. So that doubles the amount of time that we have to give for that one. Science test has changed, so we just went over all the ins and outs. We're talking about it's the last 14 days in May, so I want their schedules done now. They're having to navigate that plus end of semester or final exams, and so they're putting a good solid plan in place for that. We also finished access testing today. That's where all of our English second language learners take that test to show how proficient they're becoming in the English language, and that wrapped up today. The window ended Friday, but the state gave us an extra day because of all the sickness and weather that we have faced, and so we wrapped that up today. That concludes my report tonight, unless you all have any questions.
How successful was the access? Do you have any pass?
We don't know. They just finished it today, so we'll get that information. We get it fairly quickly. I'll let you know. We're part of our accountability is growth in that, and so 4.5 is when they exit out. That's the pass. That's when they exit out of the program. And so last year we had several that was really close. The older they get, the harder it is to get that 4.5. And so, we have a few seniors this year that were not very motivated this year. They were last year. So we're a little concerned with that, because if they scored high last year and then they drop off their senior year, that hits us with a growth accountability measure that's not favorable. So Mr. Butler and his team did a good job with a kid today, and they were able to turn him. So he gave it a good effort, just with a couple conversations. So we'll see. Yeah.
Thank you, Tony. Superintendent report, Mr. David Arvin.
Monday, when we had our teacher workday, staff met with OVEC throughout the course of the day, just to go over some special ed training that we'll be doing throughout the rest of the year. That's just a big push as we finish out the year to get some of that taken care of as we build into the 25-26 school year. And then really just, a big thank you to all the staff and then families in the community as well for their patience in navigating the weather situations and everything. And, we'll see what tomorrow looks like when we get done, with this meeting and how the forecast changes. But just really appreciate everybody's patience as we, navigate this difficult time with all the snow and flooding and everything we've had.
Well, and also, I think a shout out is warranted for the school bus drivers.
100%.
So this morning, I'm in the upper end, and there was a little bit of a squall or whatever you call it, and it was pretty dicey. But of course, right down the road, it was fine. But I was just thinking about them driving to work, like having to navigate all that stuff.
It is. They do a great job, and bless Shelley's heart, she's nervous all the time, about everything, but does a fantastic job getting out, checking roads, communicating with the county, but they do a fantastic job out there. They really do.
Saturday is bus driver appreciation day.
Oh, it is? Wow.
Do we have things planned?
Anything else, Mr. Arvin?
Party at your house.
I'm good, thank you.
Everybody get a chance to look at the site-based minutes?
Yes.
I know you all did. They, Jake's training or something didn't set very well or something. Once again, I'm gonna bring up on there when they say that the review changed the policy, had a first reading on it. What policy?
They didn't identify which policy.
No.
Or what they changed.
Yes, because legally, the board is the only one that can change a policy.
Yeah, I assume they're changing their SBDM policy, but they should, list policy number, whatever. And I haven't looked at it, was there no attachment or anything? I mean, it's just, we're all guessing what the policy is.
Yep. It's your training, Jake. Everybody get a chance to look at HR actions.
Yes.
Next item on the agenda is consent agenda. Anyone for or against, speak now.
Wait a minute, is this the technology?
No, he's down in the,
Okay.
he's under new business. All in favor to approve the consent, or, I'm sorry, I need a motion to approve consent.
I will move to approve consent.
Ms. Becky so moves, second.
I'll second.
Ms. Amanda seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
5-0. Moving on to recommended action, new business. Item 7A, SBDM allocations.
It's like for the most part, keep the same number of teachers, just shuffling them a little bit.
Yes, and on the one, if you're all, if you look, way Tony laid that out, and I like how he laid that out, he's showing you 3 years on it. Tony, do we get a copy of that out here for us to see?
I didn't see it in there.
I know it's attached to the agenda.
Here's mine.
I don't know, maybe it is in the stacks.
I printed mine for us all.
That's probably why you got it then.
Yeah. Here you go.
I'll just run real quick through. Y'all might need to share down that way, Sharon's carrying. The,
So they're different sheets, I think all three
Yeah,
of these go
I
together.
You gotta work
Cause they're all
together.
different schools.
It's like having a third of
building.
the information.
Right, middle school.
I'll make
yeah, he had all these on one sheet there for us. Only thing done, keep the same amount of people. Somebody brought up to me, teacher's aides in the, lower. You see it dropped from 4 to, yeah, let me find it here. Where is it lower?
They're good, yes.
They're good for them, man.
From 6 to 4.
6 to 4, yeah.
And what that was, those 2 teacher's aides are gonna be moving over to Wildcat Academy. And then we're moving another position over there is what we come up with.
Yes.
But we're keeping the same amount of teachers. We added last meeting or a couple meetings ago, we added the, I've lost my mind, what'd you call that position?
Well, there's a behavior specialist that we would be adding for grades 6 through 12, and then a college and career lab position for the middle school. When we met were the 2 additions, and otherwise district-wide allocations stay the same.
Did
Just
you
some
figure those
reshuffling.
in on that, these two?
Yeah, all we done, Amanda, if you look down your sheets there, they give you anything in red. And the way Tony done this, and it's gonna work good going forward, they'll start keeping it, they'll just drop off a year.
Okay.
And we'll be able to look at back the past 2 to 3 years on what we done the year prior. So if you look from 24 to 25, 25 to 26,
Nice.
on the staffing allocations, like if you, look at the lower, the SPD, LBDs, that, changed too, but we just moved some numbers around.
Yeah, I like
We was
that.
just moving some people around is all we was doing on it. And then the, like, we are later on the agenda, we'll talk about the career readiness lab, instructor for that. But that, other than that, that is the only thing that we're looking at adding at this point, and everything should stay the same. The numbers, I think in our lower grades, we wasn't quite yet to, we could still stand a few students in each one of those
Sure.
before we look at bumping it up again. And then the one extra teacher we had down there, we said we'd move her, what, to middle school, I think it was?
Upper elementary.
Yes. to pick up that larger class there. But other than that, everything stayed the same. We just done some shuffling.
Okay, this needs approval, or is this just,
Yes,
Yes.
yes, I will move for approval.
Ms. Becky so moves.
I'll second.
Mr. Jones seconds. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. 7B, review approved layback budget amendments. You want to hit that real quick?
Yes, so, Mr. Jury, when he laid out the layback budget at the beginning of this year, as we look at this college and career lab that you're gonna hear more about here in a second, we just had to shift the funds from one allocated spot within the budget to another so that we can spend it on the labs that we're looking to create for the middle school.
Any further discussion? Need a motion to approve.
I move to approve.
Ms. Amanda so moves, second.
I'll second.
Mr. Jones seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0, motion carries. Item 7C, review approved middle school college and career labs job description. Mr. Jury, you're up.
Okay, does everyone have a copy of that?
I did not
don't think
see
so.
it attached. Maybe I missed it.
Unless it was in something else.
I've got all kinds of,
Basically, it's just, we're looking at, back in December, we received an invite from the Workforce Development Cabinet, the Office of Career Technical Education, and to come see a middle school career labs at Spencer County Middle School. And so I went, and I wasn't expecting to see what I saw. But some of you may remember back in the early 2000s, John, you probably do, when we had the agriculture lab set up over here. We had 13 stations with 13 different careers in agriculture set up. But one was for GPS, one was a weather station, one was vet science. And it was just extraordinary at that time. We used tobacco settlement money for that. And so when I went to this lab, it really reminded me of then. And the people that are putting together these labs have done a really good job. And so Dave and I talked and thought, well, why not? Why not at the middle school? Because that's where we need to get kids fired up about their future. We talk about apathy at the high school level. I think, we've heard the high school people say that the students just lack motivation, there's apathy. Well, to me, apathy is a result of just a lack of a goal, a lack of a direction. There's nothing for them that they want to grab onto, say that's what I want to do with my life. As soon as we get kids in that channel, when I was at the ATC and when I was an agriculture teacher and at the Fed Advisor, as soon as we found what motivated kids, we had kids doing well in school. We had kids attending, we had kids graduating and on the path. And so what we want to do is we want to do that much sooner than high school. And so we're looking at this lab. We have this layback budget. And so I emailed the state and I said, can we use that to build this lab as long as what we put in the middle school, they have an avenue to finish that out in the high school, whether it be at the high school, at the ATC, at iLead, or even just a JCTC dual credit program. And they said, yes, absolutely, just get the board to approve the amended budget, which you all just did. And so we're excited about it. And so, to do that, we have to create another position at the middle school. I didn't use the normal format that all of our positions look like in our HR folder. All those positions look formal and rigid and structured, and they all look the same. I kind of branched out because I want this to be something different. Maybe we use this moving forward with all descriptions, but this talks a little bit about a passion before you get into talking about what the teacher's actually going to do. But we're going to need someone that is a good manager of supplies, a good manager of a room, someone that's motivated, someone that's savvy with technology, savvy with students, someone that's going to manage all those supplies and keep those things up and running, because we've seen in a lot of districts, if you put the wrong person in a room with a lot of technology, within 2 weeks you'll find potato chip bags everywhere and things broke and strung out and everything. So we're looking for a special person, and so I wanted a special job description to find that person. So that's what we're asking you tonight, is to look at that and approve it so we can get that posted and start our search. And it's kind of a whole package, you know. You approve the job description, and here in a minute you're going to look at the request to do this program. And to do this program, there'll be a lot of purchasing, and there will be some remodeling requests, because we want this lab to pop. We want it to be a space that when anyone walks in, they're wow, this is neat. If you're a parent, you'd be like, I want my kid in that. And that's the goal, to put every kid in middle school through at least 2 or 3 of those modules. And the other goal is to bring industry in to our school so they can sit with us while kids are completing those modules as much as they can. We, you know, have an open invitation. And a lot of the modules will parallel with what we have as industry up and down 42. Also, some of them will be entrepreneurial type modules that kids can do. But we want to create that avenue to bring some industry partners in. We're not asking for money or sponsorships. We're just asking for time for those people to come in and make connections with our kiddos and doing something that will help the kids prepare for their future. So, any questions on that?
I do.
Yes.
Do you think we're going to have trouble getting a qualified person? I mean, we're already short-staffed in several positions.
With this type of a position, I told Mr. Arvin I'd like to do it myself, and he said no.
I told him no.
He said no, but I was
We can arrange it.
totally love just to do that. I think, you know, what happened at Spencer County, they were up front about this. Unfortunately, they pulled their top science teacher into that lab. And then they were looking for a science teacher after that, but they wanted their best teacher in there. So I think finding a person for this lab may not be a problem. If it's someone within the district, filling that hole might be a problem. So we just don't know, but we're not going to put just anyone in that position.
Sure.
It's going to, and we're like that with all our positions now. You know, we want the best. You guys approved our salary schedule last year, and we got some incredible people from that. So I think we'll continue to build staff. Mr. Arvin's very aggressive about recruiting people. So I think we'll find someone. That's the hope.
Yeah, sure.
Is there a specific certification that goes with this?
Any certification could fill that. It's not specific. It's because the teacher becomes a facilitator.
Could it be a non-certified person?
I suppose it could. I hadn't thought that, but I suppose it could.
I mean, not with this job description, it couldn't be.
No, not with that job description.
We had someone contact me, and I sent it on to Tony and them. I explained to them board's not allowed to get involved in hiring daily operations. We've got a gentleman, I think Tony hired him one time over in another school district, or you helped him.
Oh, yeah. That person's certified.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's an engineer,
Mhm.
and he's wanting to come back to Gallatin County. He's from Gallatin County, and he asked if I talked about wasn't up to talk to them about it. But I think we'll be able to get a teacher in for that pretty quick, and I think we'll be able to get some good ones.
I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just from being in high school, you have an opportunity to have kids know what career pathway they want to go into when they're filling out their stuff as a freshman. Whereas before, we were getting them to do things as a freshman. That was their experimental time. They didn't like what they experimented with. Well, now they're behind because they're going to do something as a sophomore, start a new pathway, and it was difficult to get them all the way through it to be able to get your credit in with the state. So I think the sooner you expose them, the better it is for the kid and the better it is for the school. So I think this is a good move forward.
And if y'all got any questions on the D and E, because this is all part of it, y'all might want to read them real quick, and that way we can just go down and approve them. But one of the things on here is the lab modules. Have you decided yet what modules?
Think so, yes. Yes, we've got.
You can go ahead and
quote.
discuss them now, and then we'll just approve it
Okay.
as we go down through there.
One of the things that we will face, John, you brought up a good point about the high school. What we will face is if kiddos take this module experience, it's going to be top of the line. What comes next? We'll need to match the experience they've had at the middle school. So we're going to have to up our game down the line to keep the kids motivated and interested. So that's to come. And if you guys want, we can schedule a trip to Spencer County. They'd love to show their lab off again to anyone. So
they have something in the high school that coordinates with their middle school?
they built the middle school to feed into what they already had at the high school.
Okay.
Yeah. So here's what we have requested a quote for, and we have the quote. I'll just read them in alphabetical order. Cosmetology and barbering, that's big interest. Criminalistics, digital manufacturing, that's your 3D printers, laser engravers, things like that. Energy and power, engine stand, sorry, those are abbreviated. Flight and drone technology, home maintenance systems, that's HVAC, plumbing, a lot of things like that. Home maintenance fundamentals, that's kids will install doorknobs, hang doors, do some plumbing fitting, just things around the house. So that leads into a construction pathway. Introduction to child development, introduction to culinary arts, welding basics, materials processing and design, structural engineering, nursing, sports medicine, veterinary medicine, and emergency medical technician. The energy and power, that's just looking at motors. That's a mechanic that leads into the mechanics. And then I don't know where that one came from, that energy. I apologize, I wasn't ready to do. David, do you remember?
Which one?
Tony, I thought that day when we was doing the staffing allocations, you were showing that to me.
Yeah.
I thought energy and power,
Here it is.
he was gonna drop it for the basic home.
I like everything that we've suggested, but I did not hear electrical or like a millwright mechanical
It's
maintenance.
on there.
It's. I
Because that's
think-
what Nucor's looking for,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah,
We
I
keep saying,
think
what can we do to,
Yes.
so I want to make sure that's a pathway.
I think in one of the home ones, there was some electricity.
Don't worry about it, Tony. Taxpayers paid for it, huh?
Put that on video.
Yes, I did.
That was awesome.
2 videos.
Yeah, we got you 3 times.
Matt, don't put that on as an expense.
Take it out of his budget, Matt.
Yeah, that all sounds great.
Energy and power are forms of energy and conversions, engine systems, ignition systems, distance calculations. And I honestly think that the engine stand maintenance, they slipped that in on me. I don't know what that is, because it's only $710. You know what that is? That's just the supplement for that energy and power. They get electricity in that home maintenance systems. The lady that we've been working with, because we had electricity on there, she said it's the big Amatral series trainer, and it's going to be over the head of who you try to hire unless we get somebody that's an engineer. And she says they get the basic electricity in that home maintenance fundamentals, because they have to wire a wall, they have to do a breaker box, an outlet and a switch and a light.
Okay.
And so,
But Miss Amanda might would donate some people that is engineers to come
Oh.
up here and help.
We could definitely make that happen.
that's what we want. We want to start that relationship.
Yeah, we could definitely make that happen.
And that's the thing, as we look at some of these, you know, we're not completely filling the room. There's still more space, so as we get going and find one or two that we want to add in the future, we can always do
That's a good
that.
call.
So they kind of laid it out, you know, how many we could fit in the space we're looking to create, and then, you know, we obviously have a budget to work in, so we're not going to completely fill the
Sure.
room, but we can make additions in the future.
And Tony and them, they had talked to me about them, and I called them one day and I asked them a question. The layback money we was gonna spend on the aviation program, they're probably 4 or 5 years out there at the airport of ever deciding what they're gonna do is what I'm gonna guess, if then. But we was looking, I'd ask him and Mr. Arvin, you know, what was something where we could get our UAV program and aviation program in, plus what else could we do to get the best bang for a buck? And him, Tony, David, and a couple other of them worked on it, and this is what they come up for us.
And I
Yeah.
hope once this gets going, down the road, we think about doing something like this in the upper elementary. Maybe a modified, downsized version, but get those younger kids thinking about it too. I mean, it's never too early.
We talked about having tours.
Yeah.
And we had,
For sure.
and here's the other thing we talked about, once a quarter, we'd like to have a parent night for the kids that are in there, because they're all gonna produce something in these labs, these modules to show, whether it be an electric board, or if they can fly this drone, or they can cut somebody's hair. We wanna schedule nights where parents can come in and share what the kids are doing. That's
I like it.
that's one of the goals we have, so.
Tony, also on there, since we're not tearing out load bearing and things, are we just gonna try to get local bids?
Yes, we brought someone in, to look at it already.
Somebody's buddy?
Oh,
No.
no, his buddies, they might not. He's done some other work for us and done a good job, so we kind of trust that person, and so they're gonna give us a bid. I think it's one thing, and David thinks it's gonna be lower than what I think, so we'll see. But we want that space to be top notch, we don't want to halfway do it. And stay safe, that's my thing.
Anything else on that, Mr. Jury, Mr. Arvin? Board got any other questions? I'm just gonna go down to here, 7C is a review approved middle school, college and career labs description. Hearing no discussion for or against, I so move.
Second.
Ms. Amanda seconds, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
5-0, motion carries. 7D, review approved quote for Patterson College and Career Lab modules and installation, I so move.
Second.
Ms. Becky seconds. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0, motion carries. Item 7E, review approved middle school space remodel for college and career labs, I so move.
Second.
So if I can, I mean, depending on what there's no bid, there's no quote, so I mean, assuming they
Yes,
get
sir.
a bid, they're gonna come back with a bid, you're just approving,
Yes,
let them
sir.
do it, okay. We'll make sure we're on the same page. All right,
You need to get on our page, Jake.
that's what I was trying to do.
Mr. Jones, you second that, correct? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 7F, approved job description for a behavioral specialist. Everybody get a chance to look at that?
Remind me for what this is for.
So this would be a special education teacher in grades 6 through 12 to, you know, be able to work with students, work with teachers, and kind of be an intermediary between the classroom and potentially the principal's office.
Also move.
Ms. Becky so moves.
A second.
Ms. Amanda seconds. All in favor, hearing no further discussion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 7G, approve the purchase of Chromebooks for 25-26 school year.
So this is a 4-year cycle? Is that what we talked about?
Yes. That way, when it goes through, students will get new Chromebooks, like when they're first graders, that'll carry them through, and then when they're fifth graders, that'll carry them through until they're freshmen, and the freshmen, that'll carry them through until their graduation.
You just gonna offer those to them at that point?
Well, that's what I wanted to discuss with you eventually, since we're not there yet, but like, for example, my own child, like, we have a Chromebook at home, she got hers where she went to school at, so it's really kind of what we want to do with it after that. Most Chromebooks start, their life cycle's 4 years.
Yeah, they're a bigger expense than they are an asset at that point anyway, aren't they?
Yeah.
I don't see why we'd want them.
It really is what the kids take care of.
Save
So-
us from having to do the
Surplus
surplus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
save on surplus, and I'd like to try to get
Licensing.
into that rotation basis, so we know budgetarily, like, what we have each year.
What's the cost on this per year?
Huh?
Cost?
Oh, per year? Right now, there's quotes between, I got 3 different quotes, somewhere between 102,000 to 150,000 a year. And they're not getting any cheaper,
No.
so.
Anybody got any further questions?
I move to approve,
Miss Amanda so moves.
because paybacks.
I second.
Mr. Jones seconds.
Which one? Isn't there multiple quotes?
Well, you have to bring those
He'll
to
bring,
us
he'll
later.
bring 2 of them. We're just approving for him to,
He's not approving the quote. There was a quote attached, so I
My
thought you
cash
were.
quotes, so.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
well, I thought you were approving the
Oh,
purchase.
well, you have one of those you wanna recommend?
When I was looking at them, essentially the quote with the lowest price tag is from this one company, and when I look at it, their device is a pretty good one. It's the most kind of speediest and up-to-date one. The sturdiest one would be like 136,000 a year. Me personally, I'd rather go with the cheaper quote, just because I think that device is good enough for right now. So,
Is the lead time okay on that, to get those in, or?
yeah, because I'd like to try to discuss, I'm hoping to get them in before the end of the year so we can go through them, and because I want to make sure we get asset tags on them and we can know where they're going. And I'd rather order them sooner rather than later, because everybody I got a quote from told me within the next 3 weeks they're probably going to go up by 15%, so.
So the low bid is your recommendation? Okay, I'm good with it.
Yeah, we got, the money's already in the budget for it.
okay.
Do we need to adjust our motion? Or
I need you withdraw your motion.
Okay, I withdraw my motion.
And then I need a motion to approve purchase Chromebooks for the 25-26 school year with the
The lowest bid.
The low bid.
the low bid.
I move to approve the lowest bid.
Amanda so moves.
I still second.
Mr. Jones still seconds. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. 5-0, motion carries. Item 7H, discussion USDA Rural Development, Rural Utility Service, RUS Distant Learning and Telemedicine Grant for fiscal year 2025. Whoever's got that, want to speak on it?
Yeah, I can speak on it. So that grant is through rural development, and so I've been working with a team on that. So essentially what that will pay for is technology and other pieces of equipment and training to make our classrooms more distant learning friendly. Some examples of things we discussed is possibility, like, we know it's difficult sometimes because I actually discussed this with Landon too, like calculus, chemistry teachers, things like that's hard to come by these days. So if we have ability to be better at the distance education part, we could possibly find somebody to teach science or calculus and say, hey, other school districts, we have this, you want to chip in. So it pulls in together, makes it more of a distance learning thing, kind of opens the doors up for better academics for our students. There's a piece in there for telemedicine, which we do kind of have already, but we also have, we can get a piece where it allows students to do telecounseling. Because I know a lot of times students and parents have difficulty signing their kids out, driving up to like UC or Cincinnati Children's. This will give them an opportunity they could do counseling here instead of driving someplace else. It just kind of opens it up. The grant itself ranges between $10,000 to $1 million. I tend to lean towards trying to get the $1 million version, but that's just me.
My hero.
Yeah. There is a piece to that where we do have to chip in a percentage.
Maybe not.
Yeah, exactly. You don't like that piece.
I think it was 15%, wasn't it?
15. It's 15%. Because I just looked at it the other day.
Get on, Mary Jane.
Yeah.
Where's that gonna come from?
So I wanted to make sure I touch base with you guys, to make sure you're all right with us pursuing that the way we're doing it. I'm meeting with a company now they're pretty much helping write the grant and guide it, and they really don't get anything out of it unless we get it approved. And most of the time we're going to purchase some of their equipment because they're helping me get the list together and all that kind of stuff. So
Do you need a motion or just consensus?
Yeah, you need a motion, and along with this is gonna be a letter, of endorsement, from the board, signed by the chair, saying, hey, we support this.
yeah, because I'm going to get a letter from Mr. Arvin. If you guys, I've already asked a couple of the students like Landon, teachers, principals. I've reached out to some of our community partners, like Jefferson Community College sent me one today, University of Louisville sent me one, and stuff like that. And I'll be touching base with some teachers this week, and I'm trying to get a hold of some parents. So if there's any parents in the room that would like to write a letter, that would be great.
I move we approve.
Sure.
Second.
I got you. I got what you were throwing out. I second. Did you second, John?
Yeah.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same side. Item 7I, review approved first reading of policy 09.2, student welfare and wellness, to add Gallatin County Schools as leadership group and strike wellness leadership.
So it's just the one change, right? The one word?
Yeah, we're striking wellness leadership group
I
and
move
just
to
adding
approve.
Gallatin County Schools. Miss Amanda so moves.
Second.
Mr. Jones seconds. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. 5-0, motion carries. Item 7J, review approved archery grant for Gallatin County High School. I so move.
Second.
I never did see that.
Miss
Did it get-
Ashley seconds.
did
Yes, it's on there.
something else? Okay, I didn't go back and look, but yeah.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item K, review approved Planet Youth Student Survey for 8th and 9th grade. Any discussion for or against? Hearing no discussion for or against, all,
I know we had some verbiage, or was that something we need to clean up? I did not take the time to read it. I did catch a few things, but are we okay with how?
I'm not.
I'm
You're
not.
Yeah.
Okay, so right there.
I'm, that's through the health department, that's, me. And so the survey itself, if there are changes that you want to be made, those are things that can be made.
Okay.
There were things I know in Owen County that they were wanting to add, so about energy drink usage, so they wanted to get some feedback from that. So if there's anything that, and I know, I think Carroll County wanted to see how many youth visited, General Butler State Park. We don't have a park, that type of thing, so if there's.
Oh, we do. We got one right back
We do
here.
have Harding Park.
We
so
got
can add that to see if
Well, no,
people-
we got the,
The county park.
yeah, people walk through it every day, visit it.
We can add
Would
it
you
on
have the
there.
ability to strike things that are on there too?
I believe so, yeah. So if there's something that we wanted to totally strike out, and it may, we just wouldn't get that data for our county.
I would,
compared to the 4 counties, so if there's
Would-
something.
What I would recommend to the board right now, instead of us voting no on it, table it until we all get a chance to read through it good, and then bring it back at the next regular meeting and approve it.
Could you give us a copy of what the survey would, I guess we would
Can we
want
get a
to
copy of this?
strike and add
Yeah,
what
are
we
you okay
wanted
with
to
this?
maybe before we did
Will you
that.
make us
Is
all
that-
copies of that, please?
Yes.
Is
Thank
there a certain one that is,
If there is, and you guys wanna look through it and just let me know
That'd be
what it
fine.
is, I'll compile all that and get with Ms. Broderick and we'll get that cleaned up.
Give me a chance to read.
If the
That's
board
what
could
it's
just
like.
take a copy of it with them tonight, just read
Yeah,
through it,
Jody's gonna
Just
make
make
us copies.
strike, change,
Yeah.
and then
And we'll get it to you
email
as
it
soon as
back to
possible.
Mr. Arvin for the changes.
they would like to do the data collection, the survey, the week of like March 31st through April, like before we go on spring break. So that's what they would.
Oh, yeah, we got
Oh, we'll
2
have it.
meetings between now and then.
They would just, So they would like to have it, so that way they could create the link for to do it, so as soon as possible would be great.
What is the information for?
So, it's a Planet Youth is a 5-year grant that they receive through the health department. And after we receive the data, they wanna use that data to try to create activities. Basically, it's going to, as a group and community, create some activities. That way youth are doing those activities instead of maybe some activities that they shouldn't be doing. So in other parts of the United States, I'll just go with Frankfurt, they have yes cards. So a yes card would be given to a student and they could use that to go to the bowling alley for free or go to the movies for free. And so in our rural counties, we're sort of new, so it's gonna look a little bit different because we don't have those places for free to go to, so we're gonna have to create some things and utilize some things that we already have. So basically trying to create more positive activities for families and youth to do.
And I'll tell the board now, I've got to work with Miss Sherry some in the past. She does an excellent job at what she does.
Her and I have talked, and we talked about just putting it out there, like the why thing. You know, why do we need the data? What it's going to be used
Yes.
for? How we can benefit.
Me personally, so I'm speaking out of term from Three Rivers, I would love to use this data to collect and then keep using it throughout the years to create a community center in our county, like a YMCA or a Boy and Girls Club, that type of thing. But again, that's long vision type thing. That's what I would like to see it used for. We have to help with our own community building those things that we
Sure.
don't have. So.
And the first thing they're going to want is data, so it's just the way it works.
I move to table this until we all get a chance to go through it and have it back on the agenda for next board meeting. So that gives us, 2.5 weeks to go through it?
Does that give you enough time? We don't meet till March.
Second Tuesday in March.
Okay, second Tuesday. Okay.
I so move to table.
Second.
Ms. Amanda seconds. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
5-0. Ms. Jody, just make sure we got that back on the agenda for the first meeting in March. Discuss approve fundraising for grades K through 8. I had this put on the agenda, as everybody knows, it's kind of been a pet peeve of mine. I want to end fundraising for K through 8. We've got all these children going out. Parents got 2 or 3 children in those grade levels. Things are hard on people right now. And if we wasn't sitting where we was contingency and stuff, I would tell the board, no, don't do it. They can fundraise. But we're at a point to where we're fortunate enough, I say give each school $8,000 a year and tell them no fundraising for next year. And just,
So then if we review that on an annual basis?
yes,
Go through that.
and just tell them going forward, hey, lower gets 8, upper gets 8, middle school gets 8, and absolutely no fundraising. Now,
You mean no Texas Roadhouse rules.
nope,
Well,
sorry.
the high school could still do it.
Yeah, the high school.
That's good, yeah.
Now, the high school, I don't have a problem with them fundraising, because those kids are older, they raise money for their prom, for graduation and different things, but that's a lot different when you got somebody 16, 17, some of them 18 years old going out, instead of a parent getting 2 or 3 kids at the same time, bringing home 6 or 7 different fundraisers.
And it's potentially sales experience.
Yes,
Versus grandma is hitting everybody up in the family tree and at
But-
work. And
but what I would recommend is 8,000 per school.
what's the
who's
thoughts
gonna-
on, how far will that go?
It'll
What-
probably pay for their field trips. You're gonna get a lot of questions about this. So, I would include in a motion that you make that someone draw up specific steps and guidelines for, cause they're all gonna assume that this is only for field trips. They fundraise money for other things. Off the top of my head, I don't know. If somebody else knows, speak up. But I think they fundraise for things besides field trips sometimes.
When we pulled the,
So,
PTA does sometimes.
Do we even have?
Do we even have
We haven't had one in
PTA?
years.
Rover?
Yeah.
It's been gone for a long time.
yeah, John,
yeah.
I ain't
So
heard that term.
Jody knows, see, end of year activities,
PTSOs.
celebrations, incentives for students, They fundraise for a lot of those things. So they've heard rumors.
I think
that-
that's more at the high school level though, for that stuff, right?
They do that stuff in the elementary schools too. I'm just giving you a heads up. They've heard this is coming, but they're assuming it's only for field trips. They're not, so you need to make it clear that there will be no fundraising in those grades.
Nope.
That would be easy to survey. Ask
Yeah.
principals, what have you fundraised for, what was the purpose?
I just kinda know
Well, we
what's
pulled
set
the
up
red
in that
book.
activity fund account.
Yeah, we pulled the
There's-
red book for the lower, just to kind of see where they's at, and they was what, a 7,000 and something?
Yeah, and so some of those expenses did not always include the bus driver expense because you all already pay for that.
Well, yes,
Just so you know. I
right,
mean,
and it wouldn't,
So,
include
I think
bus driver
8,000
expense anyway, because
Right.
I've never understood, we're paying for the buses, we're paying for the fuel, we're paying for the drivers, so why are we charging the schools for it when we're already paying for them? All it is shuffling money around.
Well, the simple answer to that is it's a way to track where your money's going
Right,
instead of
but-
charging it all to the bus department.
Well, if we can you put an account under the bus garage for the field trips and stuff for those schools? And then just, that way we can keep track of that.
Those accounts are already in the district level. They're not with the bus department, but I have an account for
Okay.
the bus driving I don't have it for each school, I just have it for the board paid, because that's where we're tracking it now. But I can split them by school. I think 8,000 is a good number to start with.
That's-
Like Mr. Jones said, we can
And we can
check that.
reevaluate, and we'll create a procedure
Right.
based off of this for the buildings. As
It
to
may be a
how-
headache for the principal to have to tell
Yeah.
yours is good, but we're not gonna use our money on that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
Well,
Which
the
might
other
not be a
thing-
bad thing anyway.
yeah.
No, the other thing this is gonna benefit is a whole lot less handling of cash.
Yep.
I mean, yeah.
I make
no-
a motion that, we do the 8,000 per school.
And no fundraising.
And no fundraising.
No fun.
And each school, does that include the high school?
No.
No.
Okay.
K through 8.
One more thing, what about the book fair for the library?
Yes, now the library and
Okay.
stuff,
Okay.
when we looked at that, and I looked at, to me, the library and things, yes, it's fundraising, but that money's going for, they buy books,
They get
books
what's
get
back,
added
right,
to,
no cash.
stuff.
Those
With the
questions will
exception
come, those
of-
questions will come.
Yes, sir.
They'll all
Oh,
be
yeah.
falling into
I know.
your
I know, I've already heard from
At 8 o'clock?
a couple of them. One of them had tried to have me up to about 18, 19,000 is what they was wanting. I don't think so.
All right, do we have a second on that?
Not yet.
I don't even know if we have a first.
Yeah, the motion
John.
was no
Oh, John.
fundraising except for book fair, K through 8, 8,000 to middle, lower, middle.
Correct.
Right?
Lower, lower,
motion.
upper, middle.
Yeah.
I'll second.
John so moves, Miss Ashley seconds. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 7M.
We just selling a bus?
We've got
We use a company,
5 of them.
basically, right? We're just gonna use a company to sell them
Yep.
instead of
And we're just gonna
surplus them.
pick
You
up the
wanna
money.
Right.
tell them on that one real quick, Mr. Orban?
Yeah, so, the state does a bus auction every year, where they get any surplus buses that districts are wanting to surplus from around the state. They do it all at once. They take care of the advertising, anything that has to be done to be able to surplus the bus. They do it. If someone wants to put a bid in on the bus, then they notify the district, and we have 7 days to either accept or reject the bid. In doing this and signing everything, it's essentially you all giving me the ability to approve or deny the bid if it comes in, which I'll communicate with you guys anyway, but this just keeps us from having to have a meeting to either accept or reject the bid.
Make a motion that we,
Mr. Jones shows moves.
Yeah, the motion
I'll
needs to be to
second.
approve the resolution and the contract that's attached. There's two.
That's exactly what I
Yeah.
said in my motion.
You didn't hear that, Jake?
And I second that.
I
already did.
was clarifying for the person taking the minutes.
I already did, Miss Amanda.
Okay, good.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. 5-0 motion carries. Miss Amanda, 7N. Approve,
I'm in the
discuss
hot seat
first
today.
reading of the 25-26 school calendar.
All right. So this is, I believe, my 4th year on this, but actually we had a.
You're so good at it.
Well, I
Right,
think-
right. I'm gonna let everybody else get
Hey,
experience.
Miss Becky, I want to go ahead and make sure we get her in for
Yes.
next year.
Yeah, we're gonna let everybody else have experience. But I do feel this is one of the best calendar committees that we had. Everybody seemed very reasonable, respectful in what everyone had to share. So the two calendars are, let's start with option one. That is the full fall break. Starting on the 6th, so that's what the staff, it gives them a few days. The 8th, they wanted off, so they could just have a day to, after they had time to work on their classroom, they could just take a day before coming in on the 11th, which was fine. Full fall break, and I'm trying to think. 2 weeks at, so they had a 3-day Thanksgiving break, 2 weeks at Christmas. Yeah, pretty standard. The only thing about this one that I dislike, and again, this is just me speaking, was February. They have the 9th and the 16th off. That's 2 Mondays back to back. Again, board decision, just want to make you aware of that. This puts them into June 1st with snow days, and I do think we're going to have obviously several snow days this year, so we did talk about, hey, let's try to maybe take a few more days more throughout the year and not at the beginning. So if you flip over to option 2, that is the shorter fall break. That is a Thursday, Friday, Monday. Everybody seemed pretty cool on that one. There was talk about, hey, what if the staff has already booked the fall break, but we have said year and time, do not ever book a vacation until the calendar is approved. So we did make that very clear. So on this one is the shorter fall break, but it's still, I guess, the same amount, just has the weekend included in there. The only thing I dislike on this calendar, and again, this is just my personal opinion, is they have the 2 weeks at December. And I did tell them I was not supportive of this, but then the 5th, that's another Monday off. The staff thought it was a great idea to have a day to come back, get used to their, just take it all in, I guess, get ready for the kids. I suggest they come in on that Friday. Nobody was really willing to give up their 2 weeks. Again, we can change that or we can leave it. Other than that, April 24th is prom, which we have that off this year, and I think that is a great thing because it gives the kids all day to get ready. That's a big event.
So the whole district's off that day, or just those
No, the whole district.
for prom?
But you have your senior sponsors and things like that need, and junior sponsors that need to be a part of that and setting up, so
Just asking.
it's a good day to have off.
Do you want to be on the committee?
No.
So again, it is up to the board on what we want to do, or if you guys think these calendars are perfect the way they are. However you vote, I did tell the committee I was supportive on both of these, however, with the exceptions of what I had addressed.
February 9th is probably our lowest attendance day outside of the extreme cold day. It is post Super Bowl Monday.
I literally heard nothing you said, and I'm not meaning that in a bad way. I literally didn't.
But that is the only thing that February 9th is. It's Super Bowl Monday.
February
night.
9th is low. 'cause-
For Super Bowl?
But it was the lowest attendance day in the
It's
past.
It's traditionally the lowest attendance day, and it was bad this year.
But it could have been just a coincidence. It could have been
There's a lot of
sickness.
sickness,
Yeah.
colds.
It was a terrible
What-
Super Bowl.
what was that
They
over
should've-
Madison?
Why did you
Should've
stay
gone
for
to bed
that?
early.
We should all went to school.
They just
right.
didn't want to go to school on the night that the Super Bowl was the reason.
So we did talk about, and this is something for the board, I guess we are one of the very few districts that take a full fall break. And that is something that we probably should maybe look at, start weaning out so that we can have more days throughout the year and end earlier. Some of the talk was, we can't go into June because it affects teacher retirement, which
I know.
I already said, that's actually double dipping. They're under contract with us to June 30th. If we have someone that needed to retire or wanted to, and it was 1 to 2 people, we would get them a sub. So it really doesn't affect the whole district about going into June. I covered you, Hargis.
And an additional instructional day.
We did do an additional?
Proposed 173 versus 172.
Okay.
I like
Yes.
that.
Right, and I told him you would like that.
So, but both calendars were off Super Bowl Monday, correct?
Correct.
Hey, that's kind of
No,
important.
no fall break, but they're all Super Bowl. It's a May thing.
Important day. It was a terrible game,
And
but
honestly,
you still stay up. I'm
To,
telling
to
you.
support that, that is a day
Landon,
off.
We
Hey.
all went to work on Super Bowl Monday.
But that
You know
is
what I mean?
Damn.
that is their one
That
day
is
off
true.
in February to break it up as well. So
Hey, and if the Bengals go, you know everybody's
Right.
nobody's coming to school tonight.
Got some so in Florida there, about
Gotta-
the Bengals going to Super Bowl.
Gotta keep hoping, right?
So we need to vote,
Hey,
approve this
or
one?
make
Well-
any changes.
I've got a lot of questions on this.
Oh gosh, I thought I covered
No
everything.
way.
And here's the
I'll do
first
a
thing.
supper time.
I'm gonna read you something. Line 5, paragraph 2, for the purpose of this section, notwithstanding the requirement of KRS 158070, that a student instructional year not be less than 170 days.
So we're 173
173.
teaching.
Okay.
Yes, and then we have 6
And
leader
then
prep
I'm gonna go
addition.
on down here and read, what if I told you 7 hours a day instead of 6? For student instruction.
Well, do what everybody else does.
No,
They
we're
pass
gonna-
the law.
That's
We're-
in the
we're-
house right now, right?
Yeah, it's going to committee tomorrow morning.
Okay, so that may be something that we look at. And also, wasn't there something in there about the 30-minute lunch?
Yes,
So that's something we may have to revisit. They're required to have a 30-minute
or
lunch if it passes.
students, they will have a,
What do they have?
Like 16 minutes? No, I think that's why.
Oh, they had about
I would
20.
not get through lunch.
They don't, I think, on some of the kids, because, but yeah.
Yeah,
If
get
they go
through
to a
the line.
30-minute lunch, we better hire some lunchroom monitors. Because that's gonna be 8 minutes the kids have got nothing to do.
yeah, that's,
That's where the bad stuff happens. I'm just
Really?
telling you,
I'm trying to think
27
what
years
bill
of
that was.
experience.
But now this one
That's
here,
a fact.
this one here goes, they're holding a hearing on this,
Grapes, give them grapes too.
Gotta love
Yeah.
that food
So
side.
if it's the 7 hours required, does that extend our day, or are we still good? Is that something we need to look at?
well, that was the next thing I was gonna bring up. I'll read you.
Or do we
Something
have to
here.
do this
I don't think
now?
we can really get into the what ifs
Yeah.
of what Frankfurt's gonna do because
See what they're
So-
gonna do?
they don't know what they're gonna do.
All right.
When will we know what Frankfurt's gonna do?
Tomorrow.
It's gonna be a 7?
So why don't
So
we,
if
Becky
they do that,
suggested
then we'll have
tabling
to
into our
adjust.
next meeting.
What is it, so it's gonna be an hour less?
No, an hour more.
An hour more of school every day?
Yeah.
I'm gonna read you-
You don't have to
That's,
I'm gonna run something past you all.
I'm voting against
I'm
Frankfurt.
gonna go ahead and run something past you, and this is law right now. It says Kentucky Administrative Regulation, a full-time school employee is required a 37.5 hour per week. This means daily work obligation of 7.5 hours unless otherwise specified by a appointing authority. Did you get your 7.5 hours?
We discussed this, and I think it's referencing to just, in-service weeks. I don't know, but you did
Yeah,
tell
but
me
I
that.
think the
and,
difference is the time, I mean, they're getting paid for time that kids aren't necessarily, getting instructional time. I mean, they're there, I guess, 15 minutes before, 15 minutes after, something like
That
that.
still leaves them half hour short.
Well, they're gonna have a planning period. They're gonna have
That's
they're
included.
gonna have duties, bus duty, either in the morning.
Yeah, I mean,
or
if
the
it's
afternoon.
7.5, I mean, we might have to add
Yeah.
10 minutes
You
to
add
the
10
day
minutes
to
to the day.
get 7.
But that doesn't have to be the kids. That's you just add
Right.
that to the teacher day of you got to be here by
7:30.
7:15, and you can't go home till 3:15 or whatever adds all that up.
I mean, you're the expert, but if the kids are here at 7:55, you probably want your teacher here before 7:55.
Yeah.
Oh,
no
yeah.
doubt.
I don't know.
They come in,
like
I
that.
think, about 2 minutes to 8.
Well, ideally, you'd like them here 30 minutes before that
Exactly.
because you need to know if they're not there.
Get on them,
Doesn't
John.
always happen.
Is there any harm in
No,
dealing with this in
I'm just
March?
messing with Amanda.
Okay.
Exactly.
I mean, that would be cleaner. Then we know what Frankfurt's doing.
I'll be honest with you, I don't care which one of these you all approve, it's up to you all. I'm gonna support you all 100%,
Yeah, because Super
Amanda.
Bowl Monday is on both of them. Like,
Well,
we
we
It's
can-
throughout
can
the
remove
state.
it.
A lot of people are
I think
taking
we
the
can
day
make
off.
changes,
I've been
though.
Yeah, we
looking
can
at
No,
change
we
that.
get 3.
Well, you can change, whatever you want.
Oh, make me the bad guy.
Well, I already said the ones
Hey,
I didn't
Amanda.
like, so.
Did
I
y'all
want
do
that
a
removed
vote
for
on
Miss
the fall
Becky.
break from the staff?
What'd you
Did
say?
y'all do a
I
vote
want
on
that
the fall break
removed
from
for
the
you.
staff?
So,
No.
That was just
But
wondering.
yeah,
They
the
will be for
representative-
the
I mean, the
full
staff
board.
was here. The committee was made up of staff, parents, committee
Yeah.
members.
I was on the committee as well
Yeah.
as a parent and community person, and I voiced that I would prefer a full fall break week, and then take out some of the random days here and there, because as
Some of
a
the,
parent, it'd be easier for me whole week off and have like random.
Well, Sherry,
Now, Sherry, tell them you're the only one.
Everybody else already had noticed
But Sherry,
that.
those,
It was really good.
those one days,
I'm not going nowhere.
which I know you probably know, there's 10 days in there that we are required by state law. We can't touch them, we have to give them. That takes you down from 185 to 175. It's a day before opening, a day after closing, 4 NTI days, and 4 federal holidays.
For, not NTI days.
Or not
they're
NTI. Might as well be.
Professional
PD.
development.
Might as well
So
be
here's
NTI.
my suggestion on either one that we go with. If we plan to do away with the fall break moving forward, then we need to make that very clear after this year. Either one, we could either give them a full fall break and say, boom, you're done
Here's
next
the
week,
way I
or
see
we
it,
can
Miss
wean them
Amanda.
down
You
to a
worked
half
on this,
and
you
still
make the
continue.
recommendation to the board, and we'll move on and
Oh, no,
adjourn.
I told you what I liked. I mean, and like I said, I told the committee I would be supportive, other than I just don't like the January 5th.
Remove it.
I think that's too much on parents. But,
Well, kids need to be back in school after.
I mean,
being
we
off
fell
for
into
2
snow
weeks.
this week, so it was like 3 full weeks.
So
off
you want
this year.
option 2? I'll so move to approve option 2 with the removal of January the 5th as a day off.
So we have
Where we
to,
gonna put it?
Yeah, you have to move that date. And I make it.
but
Which
they
option?
don't
Well, I
have
can
to have a
promise you,
leader
it ain't
prep
gonna
day,
hurt them
right?
to get a
We would just
couple
take
extra
them down to
hours of
5.
instruction.
This is just the first.
Correct.
I mean,
I think that's a really good.
we're gonna
start
relook at this
with that.
anyways, aren't we?
If you want my recommendation.
What was that?
I'm non-biased because I have to work anyway. So, listening to the committee, which I thought that they provided really good input. Normally, the calendar should get approved a little sooner. Being that it's late February, get into March before the second reading, I thought a good trade-off could be going with option 1 and maintaining the full fall break for the community who have already scheduled vacations. With the,
So they've already scheduled vacation for
Not me, Hargis.
26.
Not me.
with the caveat that we're gonna move away from it starting the next year, and we could do the calendar as early as the fall next year. We can go ahead and get it done and
Well, here, I'll just
advertise
do,
that well in advance.
I'll just do it this way. I'm gonna do a motion for each one of these. We'll vote it down. Whatever wins, wins. All right. We got option 1.
Wait a minute, are we changing anything?
Nope.
Mm.
This is for a first reading anyway, John.
Yeah, because option 1.
Yeah, we gotta have first reading on something. You gotta pick one if you're
So
gonna.
we're gonna have the
Option one,
first reading, and
these
then
two.
we're
We're
gonna
gonna
take the
redo this
complaints
again.
from the parents and the teachers that have heard what we did on the first reading before we vote on the,
Yes, sir.
on the second one.
So I'm gonna, what I'd like to do is motion and second on option 1, motion and second on option 2, and just vote on them. So the first one I'm gonna do is option 1. I make a motion to approve option 1.
Are we just approving both of them?
Nope.
I second.
I think you vote for which one you want.
John
Yeah,
second.
I'm
Uh,
I'm
Think we have
option
to have a
1
second
too.
to be able to
Yeah.
vote, don't we?
Yeah, John seconds. All in favor of option 1, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Aye.
What is that?
I'm confused.
Someone didn't
So-
speak.
We're voting on
Is
1
it 8
or
o'clock?
2,
I don't
right?
know.
So just vote on the 1 and then we're gonna redo it.
Okay, and the first one is,
Awkward.
the 5th, is that the one?
So option 1 is the full fall break. You still got your Super Bowl and President's Day.
You got your Super Bowl, baby.
Yeah, I got my Super Bowl. Okay, so I'm good with option 1.
So
Sorry.
3-2.
So you're in favor of option 1?
Yes.
That's 3-2.
Option 2. I'll move for option 2.
I'll second your motion.
John seconds. All in
Did
favor
you
of,
just approve both?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not
No,
gonna vote
I'm
for this
just-
second one, but you
I'm
can't,
just doing
you
it
have to
this
have
way.
someone
Yeah.
give a second for us to be able
This
to
meeting
vote.
just got really
Yeah.
confusing.
no, just,
I'm getting nervous too, cause I'm
I don't
starting to
know what's
understand what
going on.
You're
Hargis
gonna be
is doing.
a
That
no.
makes me real scared.
all in favor of option 2?
Aye.
Aye.
Excuse me.
All opposed?
No.
No.
Aye.
For
2, 3. Option 1 will be, we do the second, or, yeah, option 1 will be what we do second reading on.
I'm glad that went so smooth.
Yeah, that was so clear.
Efficiency is key. We practiced that.
We don't know what day
Really well.
anybody's coming in,
Government's gonna
so.
have to be efficient.
I mean, that was beautiful. Truly.
Is he speaking? Don't get me started.
Sorry, was
on
it
you.
not my comment section?
No.
Oh, now it gets to be now. It's
Yeah,
graduation,
right.
so
You
now
skipped
you're
the
getting it
first
back.
one.
Still down to
Discussion
one.
approved. Discussion approved graduation date for 2024-2025. He said
31st.
May 31st.
May 31st. I so
8
move.
a.m.?
I would be late.
It's the adulting. Let's do
11.
this.
11.
11, all right.
No, we're not adulting yet.
We're gonna miss you, you know that?
Yeah.
Miss you guys too.
All in
You got a
favor?
motion?
All in favor,
Yeah.
sorry.
Make the motion.
I made the motion.
Second.
Amanda seconded it. And all in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
5-0. Motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
John always makes that motion. I'm seconding it.
Aye.
All in favor? Come on, let's get out of here.
Aye.
I forgot to give you these.